Hey everyone, this is Discussions with Dre. We have episode 5 here with Julian Rowan, man. How you doing?
Not too bad, buddy. Thanks for having me on. We got everything set up from Zoom, very social distancing, which is good.
Very responsible, very responsible. Not that I'm broke or anything, just very responsible.
No, no, hey, it's fine because like I've probably done about like 10 or 12 podcasts with people in the city, and most of the time it's like 18-year-olds and it's in their parents' basement. And so like one time I was doing this roast against this other comic and he just had a slideshow of me in like kids' basements and
Oh
it just
yeah,
didn't look good. So I actually probably prefer this over like having to talk to their mom and they're just waiting in the basement for me. It's kind of a weird dynamic for sure.
yeah, man. I'm 24 in my basement, and so it's
Hey
a little
man,
bit of improvement, right? I mean,
hustle life, right?
oh man, but nice to meet you. You just said you're coming back from a run. You just
No, I went to the gym, even though it doesn't look like that. So I didn't want to like come on here sweating like Shaq at the free throw line. But I shoot, my headphones might die out. So tell me if it starts cutting out. But yeah, I know. So it was good. I was able to get my head right for a good conversation. I have some different backdrops for you too, if you want. You can tell me what's the best one. So
sounds
I've
good.
got I got this one here. So if I can like perfectly put my head, you can tell me if that's a keeper.
Barry's pretty great.
I got the backroom casting couch.
That,
If
that yeah, I
you
like
can
that one.
interview me, and then probably personal favorite is I got if I'm the kid that Harambe is guarding. So it's
Man,
anytime I've been
I'm digging the
anytime I've been
casting couch,
doing
but it'll feel creepy the whole time. I don't. I'm gonna.
yeah okay. I guess you're a rapper, so you have to still stay cool. So I'll get that off.
I'll just I'll just like do I'll just whisper a little more with the casting call. Want to be so like, what do you think?
Yeah, I love how all those videos kind of start off the same, where it's like just like the most basic interview questions, and then somehow like the next question's like, so have you ever done anal? And then it's like, wow, that skyrocketed. And they'd always be wearing like Family Guy boxers. It's like, you were going to have sex, and yet you're just wearing Family Guy boxers like it's a Sunday. I
I've
don't
only
know.
seen like one of those. I've only seen one of those like years ago, and I thought I
Sure,
never
sure.
watched it. I never have once, and yeah, one second my girlfriend's calling me. Yeah, I was joking.
Yeah, no worries.
No, I was just joking. No, I definitely have way too much, but
Yeah, I don't believe you only watched it once, but yeah, no, that's cool. So this is only the fifth podcast.
yeah, I'm trying to keep it
Just
PC for myself. I'm trying to be politically correct on the podcast. You know,
yes.
no, not at all. But
Okay. I was like trying
anyways,
to.
you were saying you went to the gym, so you were recently on your Twitter there. You took a break.
Mhm.
You addressed it. You took a break. We're going into a deep question. We'll finish off with the happy questions. But you took a break off Twitter for your mental
Yeah,
health. And I noticed that,
yeah,
and I
man.
applauded it, especially for someone who makes great memes on Twitter. That's a lot of that's how I followed you, and I got into your comedy that way too. So explain to me, how did that
Nice,
benefit
man.
you?
Man, greatly. Probably the best adjustment in life that I've ever made. It. Some people come up to me like, "Oh my gosh, like, are you okay?" Like, I got man, like probably 50 DMs being like, "Dude, I'm sorry you're in like such a bad state and you had to like give it up." And I was actually emotionally drained on Twitter for like the last 2 years, right? Like,
Yeah,
my main focus was doing stand-up comedy, and the two worlds of like millennial Winnipeggers and stand-up comedy, they do not mix whatsoever. They stay separate. It doesn't matter. I could post like the dumbest meme and it'll get like a hundred something like retweets and a couple hundred likes, and then if I say, hey guys, come see me do comedy for free, no one would show up, right? It's a very
yeah, it's a hard thing.
all talk no action kind of platform. So I still felt inclined to keep tweeting, even though I hated the atmosphere of it. And you slowly, the line just kept getting pushed to what you can and can't say. Jokes that I could make forever ago, you obviously couldn't make it. Everyone understands how that's been going on right now recently, and with all the different social events. But it was kind of like I was going through some personal things in life where
Yeah,
I was kind of going down a path I didn't want to continue down. And my fiance really helped me out of that too, where I kind of opened up to her, explained some stuff that I'd never really told anyone in my life. And then she was like, hey, like, well, I'm fully here to support you. We'll get you all the help you need. And then in that process, when I kind of hit that, not a rock bottom, but a place
yeah,
where I knew that I had to make some changes, I just did a lot of self help and self-care of like reading, listening to podcasts, like all the book
Important.
recommendations that I personally got. And the key takeaway that I got, I posted on my Instagram and Twitter when I deleted it. I'm not saying that I came up with this philosophy. It was just the thing that really hit the most home for me. It was just like good values and bad values. It's kind of outlined in
I read that, man. That was really good. I like it.
Mark Manson's Mark Manson's book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's very popular as a bestseller, but it really hit home where it's like the best values in life are the ones that you can control, that are immediate. So doing well for others, getting your health right, and then those are just a couple of quick examples. And then toxic bad values are things that you can't control and are not immediate. So how people think about you, being liked by everyone, being the center of attention. And then his second book also was really good, where it's about good values or the most important things. Freedom. So fake freedom is things that are very small pleasures in life that you're always chasing, but real freedom comes from sacrifices. So a big sacrifice would be kind of deleting your Twitter, but what it frees up is just an endless amount of things. I could keep ranting on it. Yeah, I could keep ranting about it, but like, man, just so good for my mental health. When it came to stand up, like instead of going like, hey, what am I going to say to make a 19-year-old girl laugh, like reference a high school, it was actually like, okay, you're a stand-up comic, you work at Rumors. Like I was starting to come up with these bits because my brain wasn't focused on like making stupid memes for like Winnipeggers. So that helped. The clarity of mental health, not seeing, I don't know at all what's going on with like the news. I don't know where our numbers are at.
That's a good thing. It's a great thing.
It is good, but it could also be irresponsible. You know, people could be like, you need to use your platform if you're just shutting off from this, like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, it's like, you can't, it just weighs you down and weighs you down. And I couldn't even joke the same way that I could. Whereas now I'm doing stand-up and I'm talking about very controversial things, but people are there for comedy, right? Yeah. A lot of people see my tweet get retweeted who are like liberals and, you know, run all these different pages and get petitions going every single week. So then they come attack me, and I've always just cared way too much about people's opinions. So it was just a little overwhelming.
That's hard. That's hard, man. You know what? I'm going to applaud you right now. I asked that question, and usually I have to dig deeper and peel back at people to get into this. And like, you know, because it's hard to open up, right?
I never shut the fuck up. So
no,
I'm
the same way.
Way too much. So.
I'm the exact same way. So I'm really happy you did that, because I'm like, wow, like that's just exactly what I can't stop fucking talking about, my mental health and all these things, right? Okay, now here's just a question I didn't have planned, but like, did you go to therapy at one point? Is that why you talk like this, or is it just a natural thing for you?
Yeah. So that was one of those things, and what was weird is, so therapy is very different in that there's a bunch of different therapists with different styles. So that was one of the first things I committed to was, here's my dog, Bino. Hey, buddy.
What's up, Bino?
So that was one of the first things I did was I booked it. But in the meantime, waiting for my therapy session, I was listening to podcasts, trying to learn more about meditation and all this stuff. And went to the therapist. And then the first meeting's typically like, tell me your story, explain like your baggage, where you're at. And so I did that. It was good. He gave me like a decent takeaway, you know, it's not your fault, whatever it may be. Yeah. And then the second time, he kind of like what you just said is sometimes the conversation ends and then you're like, okay, I have to continue this. He wouldn't do it. He would just like pause and wait for me to start talking. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't really have this whole amount of baggage. I kind of threw it out there for you and like was kind of hoping for you to like probe, which some therapists do. This guy didn't really. And by the third session, he was like, honestly, you're probably like one of the more self-aware people. Like I said specifically what I have problems with, how I'm making adjustments. Big thing with me is they diagnosed me with ADD, which my teachers would always like joke about that I had ADD, and it's kind of like it's kind of like a punchline. And I've had anxiety, which is good too. So it's like now it's like I'm anxious, but I can't focus on what I'm anxious about, which is a great cocktail of bullshit. But
it's crazy, man. Like I feel like everyone's struggles are different. So I'm not saying I hated what I used to do this to people, like, oh yeah, I have the same. It's not really because we're different people, but yeah,
Oh,
man,
totally.
same shit, man. Like ADHD, it's a cocktail. Like, what am I upset about right now? It's just, what the fuck am I pissed off about?
Yeah, man. It's like you can't even focus on what you're pissed about or upset about. So that was a big takeaway. And like full transparency, it's like addiction's very prominent when it comes to ADD and people who are anxious because you're trying to look for those stress relievers. So like my parents went through a divorce a couple of years ago, and I always want to get outside of the house. I'm a very social person, so it was very common to drink. And then I started doing comedy, and you're waiting at the comedy show for your sets, so you're
And you want
having
to get
these
a drink,
drinks. And so I already knew that when I was going for therapy, the guy would be like, okay, Julian, like, well, what are we going to do about this drinking? Like, let's set some standards. So he kind of told me that, which I already knew he was going to tell me. Like, of course, I'm a comic, so I'm kind of just like, I'm just fucking with him. He's like, when he told me I had ADD and that I probably can't focus on anything, I was like, is that a Guardians of the Galaxy bobblehead on your chest? Like, just try and pretend like I wasn't even listening to it the whole time.
That's one of like the main.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so happy they're so open about this shit. It's really like it's important. It really is super
Oh,
important.
dude, I'm an open book. Like people think it's like brave of me to talk about stuff, but the anxiety thing was crazy because like my mom is manic bipolar, and my brother suffers with depression, which he's been vocal about. And I always kind of just joked. And my dad, he likes The Big Bang Theory, so it's like the whole family's riddled with mental illness. And I was just kidding. And then and so I was kind of always joking that like I'm the normal one, and I have people in my family, or I see girls and people on social media talk about anxiety, and I'm like, anxiety, isn't that just a fancy word for being like bummed out or like stressed? Everyone has it. But then I hit that age where you're in your mid-20s, when your brain is starting to fully develop. It just like this was day and night. I couldn't focus on anything. I had like chest pains, and I couldn't figure what it was. Yeah, I went to the hospital, and they ran every test known to mankind. And then they're like, you're fine. And I was like, oh my God, am I going to live like this for the rest of my life? And then I went to an open mic. And of course, every comedian has like their own issues. And like 3 of them were like, oh yeah, you just have anxiety. Like, yeah, I take medication for it. I've had it for years. So I was like, I can't believe this is like the thing that I looked at in kind of like a stigma way. And so I've been very vocal about it and just trying to like normalize it as much as I can.
We're addressing it really like heavily the last little bit as humans. Really, it's like it's a new thing that we're all like kind of like, oh, this is normal. This is like a fucking regular thing. Like we all have our individual struggles, and it's more common than you think. Because back then in the day, I feel like, oh, that's just him. Oh, he just whatever. But it's really like it's a mental illness or something that needs to be addressed.
And people are so down in the dumps about society right now.
Yeah.
And I get that it's not perfect, but realistically, this is the best time in the world for all these things. Like gay rights, tell me a time where it's been more socially acceptable when it comes to the mental health talk. There's so many different things. Obviously, like the race has come so far, not far enough, but people are just so negative right now. When we have been progressing, I think we need to realize that instead of attacking one another, if we like kind of work together, we can keep pushing this thing. It's not like we're going backwards right now. It's really not. It's just the loudest voices in the room trying to like attack one another. It's just, I don't know. That's
it's
why
draining. That's why
on Twitter.
And
it's just groupthink.
Exactly. That's why I got off Twitter and Instagram for a full, I think 2 weeks at one point.
Yeah.
And even just 2 weeks off of that
2 weeks. I know. It felt
like,
good after 3 days, man. Yeah.
I could talk better to people. I could fucking think clearer. It was weird. It was like, this is a drug almost. It's like, it's the
most toxic thing ever.
What would you say you're like, was that one of your favorite comedians you'd say you opened up for? Like that's one of your favorites, right?
Oh yeah. And just overall, it's crazy. Like I love him so much. And he, there's obviously like the Chappelles and the Bill Burrs and all that stuff, but
incredible.
When it comes to the new school, I think like Mark Norman, Andrew Schultz.
Schultz is incredible.
There's a couple guys who I'm just like, yeah, his brain is just absolutely insane. Okay, so here it is. It's Twitter is to humans what a laser pointer is to a cat. We immediately engage and go into attack mode, but there's actually nothing there. And then he says, they say only 2% of the population is on Twitter, but it feels like 100% of the negativity. The neighborhood of IG seems so much nicer, but it's like, it's just so true, right? Like
100%.
People are just waiting to attack. Yeah.
And then the worst part, the problem I have with it, Julian, is like, I made an observation the other day too. It was like, I was sitting there, and it's not like the people attacking are even talking to you to like get a point across to you. They're talking to everyone else. So it's like they're talking at everyone else.
I'll talk to anyone, man. Like, it's just tough when you're stuck to that amount of characters and people can, there's no tone. So you and I can have a conversation. And if I say something, I can say it in a way that's clearly I'm being sarcastic, but there's no tone. You really don't know how this person's trying to get it across. So it doesn't allow that. And also with the factor of people are doing it for engagement. So they're trying to say things to get likes and retweets. It's not really to have a conversation. If they want to have a conversation, they do it through direct messaging to actually try and see if they can come to a middle ground. But it's just about who can one up the next person.
It's
and
bullshit.
It's just fucking
it's like high
brutal.
school. It's like high school.
Yeah, it is literally high school. It's like the shittiest public school.
And like with me,
I don't know where I put the other AirPod.
No worries. With
okay, keep going.
Oh my God, is that the casting couch shot I got there? Or?
It pretty much is. Yeah, he's gonna. It's about to get real weird. I shouldn't even probe him because he will start humping me. It's not
the Joe Budden podcast. It's not the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, no, where was I at there? Online, yeah. So
we were talking about Mark Norman.
Let's trail back to the Mark Norman thing. So you're saying that, can you give me a top 3 of people that you've opened up for that you're like, wow, this is happening right now? This is incredible.
Yeah, like massive ones. So even though I was getting canceled for it, I'd say the biggest one was probably Louis C.K.
I hit you up about that, didn't I? I hit you up. I said, fuck yeah.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so many people did. And that's the thing. So with no promo and like a day before it was announced, it sold out. He sold out 6 shows in Winnipeg, right? Completely just word of mouth. And I have all these people message me from all different walks of life, Christian, not so Christian, very public, prominent figures. And they're like, oh man, you're opening up for him. That's so sick. And then it's like, who is going to Louis C.K.? I can't believe it. Fucking everyone wanted to go.
Yeah, everyone wants to see Louis C.K. live, man. He's a comedian. Like you had to see it.
Yeah, and like I was just the person that they could attack. I only opened for him once, and like he's doing it as for the fame. I was like, I didn't post about it. There's 5 other hosts at Rumors. Yeah. All the hostesses, they're all doing it. It's just I could be the easy person to kind of target the rage to, but like
I wasn't a fan of that, man.
I obviously don't. Yeah, and like I like to think that I can just have conversations with people. It's going to be private. And then this girl messaged me and I just responded with a joke and then she screenshot it. And then we had a conversation for an hour after that, side eye on a lot of things. Then the next day she just posted the screenshot of what I said completely out of context.
Yeah.
And then she deleted all of the messages on Instagram, which I didn't know you could do, but she like kind of deleted the trace of us, like me being like very obviously understanding the situation, but me kind of explaining where it's at. But my intro line back to her, because she was like, don't you know he's a sexual predator? And I was like, yeah, but sadly most male comedians are. And I was clearly joking. But I mean, is it even a joke? Like Chris D'Elia, every comic's getting outed right now.
It's pretty bad right now. It's pretty bad, man. Like it's pretty crazy actually.
Yeah, like it's a fair overall statement that's a joke. Like I don't support what he did whatsoever.
No, of course not.
But the manager at Rumors put it really well when I think he even got interviewed. It's like, look, I'd like to think that he's lost everything, and I was curious to see if people would want to hear what he had to say, and they paid with their pockets, and they did want to hear what he had to say. He sold out every place he went to. I always separate art from the artist too. Like,
me too. You have to.
if I'm not about like if the creator of the Big Mac turned out to be like a racist or something, it's like, I still love the Big Mac, right? Kanye's fucking crazy, and I hate what he's doing, but it's not going to change my thoughts and opinions on The Graduation. Or
you can't. It's art, man. You can't take that feeling away that it gave you. You can't.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing. It's like Michael Jackson. Like, okay, I'm still going to dance the Thriller, even though he maybe diddled kids, but like, it's just, I respect people's right to like stick it out, but then to like cancel other people just for still enjoying the art
or being interested in associate. This is an opportunity, and you know what, man? A lot of more people were, again, like you said, 2% are it's 100% negative, but there's more people excited for you than people that were like, it was that one person.
Oh, dude, totally.
For clout, yeah. And I was really pumped for you because I like his comedy. Like I don't.
Yeah. Oh, he was looked at as on the Mount Rushmore of comedy when HBO did a special for comedians at a round table. It was Chris Rock, it was Jerry Seinfeld, and it was Louis C.K. and then Ricky Gervais, right? He was the guy, and everyone, I think anyone in the industry, if we actually understood all the mess ups that they did and it was just a clean slate, what percentage of famous people would not be canceled by today's standards? It would probably be everyone, right? So it's so hypocritical that we just do this witch hunt on everyone, and people forget, man. Like, people don't actually care.
Yeah, and in real life, you go up to someone and you talk to them about it, and it's a total different statement in person. Like, I'm not a fan of what people do sometimes. It's like, I disagree with it, but am I going to say, like, and it depends on context. Everything's about context. Depends on what they say, what happens, da-da-da. But, like, the art thing, I listened to this Kendrick song that leaked yesterday, which I shouldn't even be talking about. I found the leak. And he...
wow. Yeah, dude. I'm so excited for that album.
But he's talking about this exact same thing right here. He's saying, what is, like, the planet Earth without art is just a rock. Like, you can't just cancel everyone. He's literally talking about all people canceling. If the guy who made tires is racist, will you still drive cars? Or this and that, right? It's like one of those weird things. Like, don't be hypocrites. Yeah. Like, go across the car. It's a weird thing, right?
And I was posting polls during like the kind of Black Lives Matter movement just to get an idea of a consensus. And I work on a startup that we won't talk about on this episode, but the whole main concept is that right now with social media apps, you don't get an overall consensus. You just have people being the loudest voice in the room who gets the most retweets, likes. Anyone who comments opposing views gets attacked by the other side. So if there's a question like, do you think this officer should lose their job? You have no clue of what percentage. You have no qualitative data on that. And it's all groupthink. It discourages the people in the middle. And so, like, I remember just posting something, just asking a question: if you think that people who, extremists on the left, are they just as damaging to society as people on the right? Yeah. And a large percentage of people thought that it is. And that would just get you canceled if you tweet that out, because they're like, well, extremists on the right, like some of them kill people or whatnot, but that's not the average. And it's like, people on the left, by doing this, are doing so much more damage. It's you're fighting hate with hate.
Yeah, right? You can't do that. You can't eliminate everything.
And no one's going to see your side when you approach them in the way of trying to cancel them, right? Like,
exactly.
Everyone's made mistakes. Like, I could be canceled. I went to a private Christian high school. I was taught at a young age that, like, being gay was a choice. I had no gay friends, all this stuff. So
they taught that. They taught that in the school.
Oh God, yeah. Well, that's
really?
In the Bible. Yeah.
Oh
being
shit.
Gay
I went to Christians. I went to St. Emile on fucking St. Mary's there. Okay. Crazy. I didn't know that they actually, like, verbatim taught that.
Yeah, no. So it's an extreme thing. And I feel like nature versus nurture, a lot of it's nurture, right? So kind of growing up there, if maybe there was like me writing a Bible passage in like Bible study, and then that got leaked. It's like, Julian Rowan thinks being gay is a choice. He attended a school where it was a choice. And it's like, now I have, like, obviously so many gay friends, fully support it, like, blah, 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 all the different credits I need to give you to make you believe that I'm not homophobic. But it's just like, everyone has to change. And just like all the words that have been canceled, we all said it, man. You think on Xbox group lobbies, I wasn't saying like the R word, hard F sharps, homophobic slurs, like I'll be here. You could post this. I did that. If people want to come to me and cancel me, that's fine. But I know that those are things that I don't do anymore. I've grown as a person. I think a lot of people have. I'm not speaking just on myself.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
People,
it's just
people need to realize that, like,
grow.
I hate that whole idea where you just, oh yeah, I have never, oh my God, I would never, whoa. Like, people make mistakes. People say things they don't mean. And people are ignorant sometimes too, right? When they're younger, because you're younger. That's what happens. You don't know much when you're young. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, man, you don't.
And yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, and I'm glad you own that shit, because it's important. We can't dilly-dally and act like everyone's so perfect in society. It's not the fucking truth. And that's how it is on Twitter, like you said.
And it's just everyone today is just a brand. Like, social media has made people be a brand. It's like, I have this following, right? I have 2,000 followers. And so we're in this weird age where everyone's a business. And you know how much businesses spend on PR just to manage what people think about them? It's hard as shit. Like, it's hard as shit to like run PR for a business. So people like, it feels like it's so easy to like grow a following, but it's all fake support, and it's so minimal. It's not like having a close friend that you could reach out to. That follower really is just a number. It doesn't give you much value. And it takes one negative comment to tear that down. Psychologically, it takes 8 positive words of affirmation to break even with one negative comment. So if you look at famous people with all this following, all this money, they're like the most miserable people out there, because what their core values are built on, it's just people's opinion, which goes back to that Mark Manson book. It's like, if that is what you value the most, it's the easiest thing to tear down. You know, a fucking farmer who only was raised to like just look after the cattle, doesn't have social media, their quality of life is probably so much more than a millionaire that lives in Hollywood, right? Going through 1 million divorces. It's just, society's in a really sad spot right now, I think.
And that's come from me as like, too, like, I'm a people pleaser, right? And I've always been that person. Like, you're a comedian and I'm a musician. We obviously make our stuff for people to enjoy. Right?
You have to have an ego to get into comedy. And I'm sure, like, when you truly follow your passion, I don't know if it felt like this to you, like, as a white guy who wants to be a rapper, in a sense, it's like you always felt that deep inside. That's a passion, but it was scary to say, I want to be a rapper. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
No, honestly.
Okay. For comedy, it's a little different.
Well, because you know what though? I'll give comedians so much credit, because you have to control a room with just your voice, no background instrumental, nothing. You got to sit there and use your punchlines and words, and not everyone thinks everything's funny, right? Like, not everyone has the same sense of humor. It's super
subjective, right? Like, if I put you up at a country bar in Transcona to do rap, would they like you? No, it's like, music, like comedy, is very subjective.
I take that back though, Julian. Sorry, I take that back. I can't remember at the time, because I feel so confident in what I do now, I guess, that I maybe don't remember that, but I guarantee you.
What age were you when you started rapping?
15. No, fuck. When I started performing, I was probably like 20, like on stage. You're right.
Not
I felt
performing,
uncomfortable
but
sometimes.
Just your friends and stuff knowing that you wanted to be a rapper, that you were around 15 or so?
Yeah. 20, man. I don't know. I was in high school. I don't really remember, but you're kind of right. Here's the thing I had a problem separating with, was the fact that my name is Aaron Jeanson, like my actual name, but my full name is Aaron Andre Jeanson. So I'd go by Andre Jeanson. I like that name better.
Yeah.
And but I had a problem separating the two. So like, Andre Jeanson's how I really feel. It's the confident version of me.
Yeah.
And I find like Aaron Jeanson's like that innocent kid that all my friends know. But Andre Jeanson's like that guy that goes on stage and raps and says crazy shit. That's how that's what I like to do. So maybe I was more nervous about them seeing that.
Okay, and so here's the thing, and this isn't to like suck my own dick in the difference between comedy and music, but this is the best way to put it. I don't think I came up with this. I probably heard it before, but it's like, if you're a shitty musician, you could still be a great guy, right? You're working on that craft. If you're a shitty comedian, you're a fucking loser. It's your personality, right? You're talking from experience.
I get you.
and so like that is the tough part about comedy is if like how do you really and you can work on your craft as a rapper, as an artist, right? You can be in the comfort of your home as a comedian. The only thing you can do is go to an open mic. You don't know, you could write all you want, you have no clue if it's funny or not until you actually go
How do
in
you
front.
prep
So
for that?
our creative process is to just go in front of people in the most judgmental like state to see if it's funny or not. And how you prepare for that, different ways, but what you have to do is tell the joke. So where do you do that? There's open mics in the city on Wednesday at Wee Johnny's.
So how's your prep with that? Like, does your fiance get any of those stand-up shows right before? Do you do the whole set in front of her, or what?
It's funny. Some people like ask me about that all the time. Shut up, buddy. And like, no, like my fiance is the best for a million things. But if I tell her a joke, she's like, I don't get it. I'm like, okay, thank you. That completely burst all the confidence I have in this thing. And so, yeah, I don't really run it through her. Like, I've gotten to the point where luckily I know the structure of a joke. I know it's worked before. So typically what I'll do is I'll have a premise that pops into my head and then I'll write it down. But, you know, shut up. And so then from that premise, I'll kind of write it a little bit more, try it in an open mic. Hopefully it works or a couple parts of the joke work. And then you kind of just keep building it. So it's a very long process to get to actually know that it's a good joke that will work consistently. So a lot of times as a comic, a booker will be like, time do you have? And what they mean by that is tested, solid material that you think will work every time.
Mm-hmm. And damn, yeah, that's a lot of pressure, Julian. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but it's addicting, right? I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. I do it for free, and it's just like probably with music. It's just something that I personally feel that I was called for. I was given the gift
100%.
to do it. So I don't really, I wouldn't have it any other way for sure. Yeah.
Goddamn Wi-Fi right now. What?
It's cutting out.
Yeah, it's cutting out again. I don't know. It's just fucking Zoom, man. I can't wait to get I can't wait to get an actual setup where people can sit down and we can all hang out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good, especially if it's in a basement. You'll be pretty much at par with every other podcast in the city.
Exactly, man. Let me see here. What I also got to talk to you about. Mental health. We covered everything. Mental health, coolest moments, writing jokes. God, we covered a lot of shit.
Yeah, man.
To ask you, you're what I love this when, again, like I'm just so happy you open up the way you do, man. It's great.
Oh, dude, absolutely. It was a great chat, and I like when it's better when it's just a flow of conversation. Like I remember like the first couple podcasts I did, I wasn't really comfortable with how to answer questions, and I've grown to really love it just because I love talking to people, and I've kind of gotten a lot more comfortable with the whole platform. But it's kind of awkward when people are just like, I have this list of questions that I have to get to. It's like, no, just like let it flow. It's like Joe Rogan, I don't think has a long list of talking points. It's like, we'll talk about like DMT obviously, and he has to get to that. And then, but it's naturally it does
personality questions. Like
it just flows.
Exactly. It's like his personality comes out and he asks the questions he usually would ask anyone, right? It's just like it's him the whole time. It's weird me being on this side interviewing you and just meeting you in general. I've never met you before. I gotta talk to you, so I want to learn about you and I want to know you as a person, but I also like want to get people to, you know what I mean? I want it's a weird thing.
I like to find if it's interesting or not or whatnot. But like anything, it's like doing the podcast, like any hobby or passion, I'd say you got to do it for you. You got to do it as if no one will ever watch this. I explain this to other podcast hosts.
Yeah.
You got to do it with the mindset of you'll never make a single monetary cent off of it. No following will ever happen. And if you can love the grind in that way and just do it for you, I think naturally anything above that you'll really appreciate. So that's kind of like my advice is just don't go into it with oh my God, I got to pass this account's following and whatnot. It's like, what are the chances that I'll be the next Dave Chappelle as a
Dave
white person.
Chappelle.
Probably zero. Bill Burr, let's say, and
Yeah.
you're the next Joe Rogan. It's like you can't put those pillars as your goals, and especially if you reach that pillar, it's not actually going to satisfy you the way you think it would. You're just going to move your goalpost.
Exactly.
So yeah, just do it for you and enjoy it. And I've really loved talking to you for sure.
But Julian, I got an ego.
Like I know, don't we all?
No, the thing is, yeah, like I agree with you completely about that shit, man. But this is the first time I've done some actually the last year and a half, just like you said, you've been discovering shit. I've been like that. Like I'm me, and everyone who knows me knows how fucking great I can be around them, and knows I'm great. And this is just for me, like to talk to people, have conversations, create content, promote you, promote me, promote the city, do good things for the city, and that's all it's for. It's like fuck it. If the numbers come, they come. I got a couple questions for you before you leave. Just some quick ones.
Yeah, man.
Okay, favorite comedy of all time.
Like special or movie?
Let's go movie. Let's just go movie because
I'll give you both. So
give me both.
Favorite comedy movie is Superbad.
Yes.
By far. I could watch it a million times. I cry every time. It's like the best. Sleeper comedy, I think Hot Rod is really, really good. Tropic Thunder, if you rewatch it, is hilarious. Favorite stand-up special would probably be Anthony Jeselnik, Thoughts and Prayers. If you haven't watched it.
I watched Fire in the Maternity Ward. I watched that a couple weeks ago, Fire in the Maternity Ward.
I actually didn't like that one that much.
No?
I think Thoughts and Prayers is just an absolute classic. Same with his first audio. People probably think my stomach is growling, but it's my golden doodle, which never shuts up.
Those dogs are loud, bro. Those dogs, my grandma has one, and they're just like, or the smaller dog. I don't even know what kind of dog it is, but they're smaller dogs usually are loud.
Yeah, they're loud. This guy never. He's a little munchkin. Yeah, so that's probably my favorite special. And then maybe Dave Chappelle's like Killing Them Softly or something like that would be amazing. Some Tom Segura ones, but yeah. Oh, Bill Burr.
Bill Burr's incredible.
Yeah, Bill Burr's newest one, Paper Tiger, is probably the best special I've seen in the last 5-10 years.
Do you like George Carlin or Richard Pryor?
No, never been a big. I think he just wasn't speaking to me.
Yeah.
With his comedy, and that's the same thing. It's like very subjective. Just like I don't really like Kevin Hart, but some people would look at him as one of the funniest comics. But that's just how subjective comedy is, right? It doesn't mean they're bad comics. It's just not my style.
Hear me out. I feel like Kevin Hart has a lot of like the same values Sandler does. Like he puts out a lot of like the same type of content, and everyone eats it up and loves it, and he's either loved or hated. I think him and Sandler have for some reason, they're not the same, but I feel like they're like
similar
in the similar realm like that.
I think he just got too focused on the enterprise of being like Forbes 100. He's the richest comic in the industry, I believe, but it's like quality over quantity. He's pumping out a special every year and like 2 movies every year, where his first special, he did stand up for 10 years leading up to that material. Now he's just doing quantities, doing these massive arenas. And I could really argue that, I don't have to argue anyone. I think most people would agree that the quality of it has definitely shifted down.
Yeah, I agree completely with you, actually. Yeah, I got tired of it. I did. I didn't really dig anymore.
I still think he's hilarious. He's a hilarious person. He just, and I don't blame him, man. Like, you got to do what you got to do to build a legacy. And the Kevin Hart name is known by everyone. So if he just like stuck true to comedy and like didn't do movies and whatnot, it's like the whole concept of a sellout is like, you got to do what's best for you and for your family and your legacy. I don't believe in like, I still look at him as like an absolute genius and a god, and he's one of the funniest people in the world. It's just obviously a lot of people's art at the beginning is better than what it is now. If you look at Kanye's first work, I hate to go back to it and look at what he's putting out now. It's just like naturally the progression is
hurts my soul, man. It hurts my soul. It hurts. I love Kanye's old music.
Yeah, man.
Way more. Are you a night or day person?
Oh man, definitely a night person. My fiance can attest to that. She's an early riser, and I like to sleep in as much as I can. But I will say she has rubbed off on me, like when it comes to like a couple of years ago, I'd be out with my buddies till 3 a.m. Now it's like 11 p.m. hits. And I was like, I could actually go for watching reality TV in bed with my fiance, actually get a good sleep. So
it's nice waking up feeling great on a weekend. And I've been doing that lately with my girlfriend
it is
too.
the best.
Man, we go in early and then we wake up and say, oh, damn, I don't feel like shit today. That's nice.
Yeah. If there's a Sunday where you're not hungover, you're like, what is this miracle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you one more question before we go here. If you could be any animal, what would you be?
Oh wow. Oh God, that's
the hard-hitting questions we have on this podcast, Julian.
Yeah, wow.
I don't think you.
I don't know. Is it the manatee that has the biggest penis? Probably the manatee.
I don't know. I don't know if I've Googled that before. I could Google it if you want. I don't know.
I think, yeah. Or the blue whale.
The blue whale definitely has the biggest penis. For sure.
Definitely probably has the biggest penis.
Doesn't it pop out doesn't it have like a reveal? It like opens a door, it looks like, and just drops down. I think I've seen a video of it just come out of his stomach.
Oh yeah, it's probably like a dog but on steroids, where it's like a lipstick it's probably just fucking
like
disgusting.
It's like an anchor.
Maybe I could be a panda, so I'm like black and white. I can get away with more material. I don't know. Probably something.
I mean, that would Jesus Christ. But yeah, man, I don't know how long we've been on here, but I really appreciated you doing this. I really want to talk to you, and I hope to see you at one of these sets soon. I'm gonna probably go watch. I don't know if you and Garrett had to do the same shows often or whatever.
Yeah, man. Actually, with you being a rapper, I don't know what you're up to on Friday, but at Travis Entertainment Studio or something like that, they're doing a comedy show. So, like Miazway, Mooks, a bunch of rappers. I'm sure Post War will be there.
Yeah,
to
I know
watch
all those
it.
guys are great.
Because it's at the studio. So I'll shoot you a link just to the information to it, and you should come through to that, man. Like, awesome. It's a new room, but that would be all your people, and you could shoot the shit, have some beers, and watch some comedy. It's a great lineup. It's me, Garrett, Spencer Damas, Mike Green, who hosts The Handsome Daughter, and he's like hilarious.
I think I've seen him before too. Actually, I've seen a lot of you guys.
Yeah, man. So come through to that. That would be great.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, since you just plugged it, but I was gonna say, do your little like the hot ones shit. Plug everything you got going on. Do some shows.
Oh man,
you good?
I don't do any of these podcasts for leverage it. So
man, I like that.
Yeah, man, I just do it for the conversation, and like, I don't know, I am doing I'm headlining The Handsome Daughter for the first time tomorrow. So I don't even know if this podcast will be out by tomorrow, which is why it feels dumb to plug. But just come out. Here's the thing: I'm not plugging me, but go see live comedy. It is one of the most underrated things in the world. People spend $30 to go to a movie date. Rumors right now it's like $12 for a ticket. On Tuesdays it's 2 for 1. Do something unique. Go see live art. So just support the art. And that's all I can really promote is just check out live comedy.
Man, thank you very much. I'm gonna end this call right now, and I'm gonna give you a little shout on your Instagram. But thank you very much once again.
Sounds good, buddy. Okay, take care. It was lovely to meet you. I'm sure I'll see you soon, man.
Peace.
Bye.